from PRX.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and friends beyond the binary, trees and multiforms, it's time for another what? It's time for another episode of it's time for an episode of Sleep With Me, the podcast that doesn't know his who's it from his what's it. But I do know that I'm here to help you fall asleep because it's time for Sleep With Me. And that's it. Let's get on with the show. Hey, everybody, this is Scoots. Are you the one person that I'm trying to get a hold of tonight to sign up at Sleep With Me Plus, sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus? Here's the ways to find out. Like, does Sleep With Me make your life better? Okay, great. Do you listen on a regular basis? Okay. Have you decided not, if you've decided not to support the show, then you could just opt out right now. You say, makes my life better. I listen on a regular basis, but yeah, I already decided I'm not going to support the show. Don't worry. I'm not trying to change your mind if you've decided not to support the show. But okay, so you're still with me? Great. You might be the one. Here's some other ways to figure out if you're the one. Okay, have you been listening longer than 6 months? Okay, does Sleep With Me bring you comfort in the deep dark night or help you fall asleep? Okay. Do you listen to Sleep With Me like 2 nights a week or more? Okay. All right, so you might be the one then. Okay, what about, do you fall asleep within 45 to 60 minutes of the episode? Or you listen to about that much every night? Okay. Have you listened longer than a year? Oh, okay, you might be the one then. Do you listen 2 nights a week? Okay. 3 nights a week? Okay, well, boy, you might be the one. You might be the one I'm trying to get a hold of to see if you're still listening and hearing me, to see if you're willing to support the show. Okay, but let's keep going. Do you fall asleep in less than 45 minutes? Like, do you use a sleep timer? Okay, do you listen 3, 4, 5 nights a week? Okay, you might be the one. Have you been listening longer than 2 years? Oh, okay. Do you listen to more than one episode a night? Okay, there's a pretty good chance you're the one then. I mean, you get to choose in the end. Have you been listening longer than 3 years? Oh, wow. I'm pretty sure you're one of the people I'm trying to reach to see if you want to decide if you're the one. Do you listen 6, 7 nights a week? You've been listening like longer than 3 years, 4 years, 5 years? Do you fall asleep very fast, like before the intro's even over, just during the wind down? Okay. You may be the one I'm trying to reach. And if you are the one, really could use your support. Ideally, by supporting the show on Sleep With Me Plus. It's designed for super listeners like you. And you can do that at sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus because that'll keep the show going. And here's the thing. I only need you, right? There's 19 other people listening who said yes to a lot of that stuff. But in the end, they said, well, maybe one day, maybe tomorrow. Or no, some of those are yeses, but it's a no, Scoots. And that's okay because I just need the one. So I don't know, are you the one or not? Now, if you're the one and you say, Scoots, I just can't afford $60 a year. I just can't afford $7 a month. Well, I've been in that spot. Even when I was making the podcast, I've been in that spot. My daughter and I were just talking about the times we didn't have a car and how much walking and how much we took the bus. That's why I was making the show. And, so I know what it's like to live paycheck to paycheck, but you could still make a difference in the future of the podcast by being a part of the referral program. So if you feel like I'm the one, I want to be the one, you could support the show at sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus, or you could be an active member of our referral program, and we talk about it all the time. Those are the ways you could be the one. We could use your help in one of those 2 places. So thank you so much if you're the one. If you're not, that's fine too. Thanks and good night. Oh, Mystery Bard. A lot of people help out on the show. Who are they?
Poster son. Sounds like an earful. Wrote the theme song. Edits episodes. Carl W. the Legend. Also edits episodes. Ashley, Kenny, Scotty, Jennifer. Runner. Eric and the team at us down or on the website. I am the Mystery Bard. I do the lullabies, yeah. I do commissions at jonathanmann.net. I'll write a song for you. You can tell me the story and I'll make it personal. see the kindness shine straight on through when the listeners form their own Facebook group. Keith, Stacy, Sarah, Julie, and Jennifer. These are your moderators. Get support dear Scooter on Patreon. Buy the merch and support the sponsors. You can find anything you want at sleepwithmepodcast.com. And we're so proud that we could dance. Rusty Biscuit, Lois, Anna like banana. Leah does the transcripts.
Thanks, Mystery Bard. Oh, and hey, if you're listening to this, you know, the referral program, if you're not in a position to financially support the show, is a huge way to support the show and get free access to Sleep With Me Plus. That's at sleepwithmepodcast.com/refer. But there's also a tiny way anybody can help out the show. It's free. It helps out the show a little bit. And that's following the podcast wherever you listen to it, or commenting if you listen on Spotify or YouTube. It really helps other people discover the show, helps you stay up to date on the latest episodes. And only 50% of people follow or subscribe. It's free to follow or subscribe in podcast apps. So if you do that, it just gives it helps people discover the show, and it helps you stay up to date on the show. So follow or subscribe in your podcast app. That'll help out the show a little bit. Not necessarily keep us going forever, but I'd appreciate it. And while you're at it, go ahead and follow Bedtime Stories from Sleep With Me. That's in every podcast app, too. That has a story-only episodes that'll add it to your sleepy repertoire. Thanks, and what do you say we get on with the show? Hey, you all-night tossing, turning, mind racing, trouble getting to sleep, trouble staying asleep? Well, welcome. This is Sleep With Me, the podcast that puts you to sleep. We do it the bedtime story. All you need to do is get in bed, turn out the lights, and press play. I'm going to try to do the rest. What I'm going to attempt to do is create a safe place where you could set aside whatever's keeping you awake, whether it's thoughts, feelings, physical sensations, noise, travel, temperature changes, schedule changes, sleep. If you're sleeping on the second or the third shift. Whatever's keeping you awake, I'd like to take your mind off of that to distract you. And the way I'm going to do it, I really want to create a place where you feel safe, where you feel like, okay, I can settle in here. And what I'm going to do is send my voice across the deep, dark night. I'm going to use lulling, soothing, creaky, dulcet tones, pointless meanders, pauses, extra words, overusing superfluous like I did recently. I'm really literally leaning in, and my hands are folded. They're on one of my knees right now. And I'm leaning in here because I want to help you fall asleep. And if you're new, here's the structure of the show. Here's what to expect. We start off with about 3 or 4 minutes of business, and that's how we keep the podcast free and over 600 archived episodes free. Is the people that respond to that stuff. And then we have an intro, which is 12 minutes that we've just begun. And intro is kind of like a show within a show, like the opening of not like a monologue. I guess this whole podcast is a monologue. So I guess it is like that, where ideally I make you feel welcome. I explain the things for the show. Then I try to make a metaphor or a way to describe what the podcast is that's new every time. And so you can get used to my rambles. Or some people, like a lot of people, I heard someone recently say they're an intro sleeper. Like they fall asleep during the intros. They count on the intros to put them to sleep. Other people use the intros to prep them for sleep, and other people skip the intros. So the intros are the first 12 or so minutes. And then tonight we'll be talking about Doctor Who and doing a winding recap. That's very similar, almost like if you have a mirror and then you put lard on a mirror or something, and then you that's the reflection of this Doctor Who episode where you say, I think I can see something in that mirror, but not really, or soap or something. You say, it's a reflection, but I can't make the reflection out. That's how our recaps go. Make sure it feels nice and sleepy, relaxing, and good for bedtime. Then we finish off with some thank yous at the end of the show. So that's the structure of the show. And you could use it in any way you choose. You could skip the intro, or you could listen to it, or you could try it out and see how it goes. And as far as the podcast goes, this is one of those few podcasts that you don't really need to listen to it. You can kind of listen to it. You could adjust the volume. Some people like it loud and clear. Some people like it like where it's like I'm almost mumbling, just, with a couple pillows on top of me, and you're just barely making out what I'm saying. Or there's people that listen around the world, some of which even in my hometown say, I don't even understand what you're talking about. I say, okay, good. So it's a podcast you can tune out of any time. Ideally, it's just distracting enough to take your mind off of whatever's keeping you awake. And so you don't need to listen. There's also no pressure to fall asleep. This episode should be about an hour, and I'll be here the whole time to keep you company while you drift off. So this is more like the podcast that's here while you fall asleep than the podcast that puts you to sleep. Because that's one of my main jobs. My jobs are to make you feel welcome, to earn your trust, and to be your companion, to keep you company while you drift off into dreamland. And if you can't sleep, I take that mission just as seriously. I'll be here the whole time to keep you company, because I've been there. I've been there on both sides of it, and it's my honor to do so. And so that's what to expect with the show. Tonight's episode on, the phrase from the episode that I'll talk about is, can I have a hush? The doctor says, or something like that. And I was just thinking that word hush is pretty nice, H-U-S-H. And I guess if you're shushing someone, is that the same as, was that ever shush? Also, if there's a word, is there a word shush or shush? Or is it shush or shush? Is that on any dating quizzes? Because I never get that far. Like tomato, nuclear, potato. I guess that's the kind of same as tomato. I don't know what the other ones are, but is it shush and shush? I'll tell you what, the answer is no. Like I think there should be, if it's on a quiz, you don't want to be shushing people or shushing them. Though shushing, is that what sled dogs do? Is that slushing? Is that shushing? I think that is shushing or shushing when they're going, oh, that's mushing. Holy mackerel. I'm not kidding. I did not do that. That's mushing. So you have hushing, you have shushing, and you have mushing. Those are all great words for bedtime. I'll tell you that much. I mean, you probably don't want to be, I don't know, you could be mushing your pillows. I guess you'd be more mooshing them and pretending your pillow, I think like a dog sled, in my imagination at least, it seems like a pretty good place to sleep. It probably isn't in reality, but I picture it like fleece lined and like a sleeping bag on a sled. I tell you what, if I was going to do that's the way I'd want to do it. And maybe like with a puppy alarm where the puppies come in. So maybe nothing to do with mushing, where they come sniff my face to wake me up. I do like those dogs. I forgot what they're called. The snow dogs, but those are nice dogs. I mean, I like most dogs. If you're listening, dogs, I do like most of you. Cats, I like you. I'm just allergic. What can I do? But what was I talking about? Oh, shush, hush, hush. That's not a word. But hush is a nice word. I think maybe not though. I guess it depends on how you deliver it. But in this, you say hush. What was it? Wasn't there a song like a little hush hush? I don't know who sang that. If it was, I can hear it. It was someone where when I say diva, I mean the positive side of diva. But I can't think of who it was. But a beautiful song, Hush Hush. And the whole idea of this podcast isn't to hush, to believe it or not. Like it's to say, hey, I got a nice word. It's a hush. It's got that hush in there. Like Rush, the band. Don't rush at bedtime. You could listen. There is a lullaby version of Rush on there on the internet somewhere on Spotify. But like at bedtime, I'm not here to hush you, like, or your thoughts, like, because I guess this is like where the podcast came from, was one of the things that keeps me up at night is overthinking. And what I always tried to do was hush my thoughts or stronger versions and say, can you just like my internal dialogue would be somewhat confrontational both ways. Like I'd have all my overthinking. I was trying to figure everything out from the past or the present or the future. And then I have the part of me that would want to go to sleep, and I'd be trying to hush those parts of me that wanted to do all these calculations and planning. And I quickly learned that it doesn't work, for me at least. I couldn't hush those thoughts. I couldn't stop thinking. And it didn't feel good. Like, I guess, like, internal hushing isn't, like, it could be, like, if you're snuggling something, like your internal puppy. I don't know if, do we have internal puppies? Let's pretend we do. And you say, oh, hush, hush, little puppy. Like, if you mean it like that and you're petting the puppy, and you say, don't worry, I don't know what you'd say to your internal puppy, because that's already a weird, like, maybe you don't explain it. You say, okay, this is, I'm here. Hush, hush, little puppy, I'm here. I'm here to pet you, nice and good, right under that ear, just like you like it. And if you want me to, I'll hold your head here, little puppy poo. Hush, hush. So if you say it like that, that works. But when you're trying to get your thinking to cease, at least for me, I never could hush my thoughts. And then it would feel more, it would feel like it was stirring things up even more. And I'd say, why do I even got to hush my thoughts? Why can't I just go to sleep? And that led to me, making this podcast, because I'm here to do some, I guess, internal puppy holding for you and say, hey, let's not hush those thoughts. Hey, all you thinking parts, come on over here. Maybe that's it. Maybe there's a paradox. I don't know if that is a paradox, but I like we're using that word a lot. Here's paradox. Every time I use paradox, I think it makes me sound intelligent. I figure that one out. But anyway, maybe the parts of us are, maybe that is I didn't realize this till just now, but it's like all that talking or thinking at bedtime is like a barking puppy. And instead of doing that and saying, hey, can you stop with the friggin' barking? It's because puppies can't understand anything except love. That's a book I'm writing. Puppies only understand love. Heartbreak and something on my year with not mushing, but trying to become a musher or something. I don't know. It's a book in progress. But all those thoughts, it feels like barking. And you say, hey, when you're trying to shush it or hush it or whatever, it doesn't work. It never worked for me. So instead, I'm going to say, hey, puppy, I'm going to hold you here. I'm going to tell you a little story. Mostly I'm going to use the word hush and mush and tush. I know it's tush. I'm so silly, aren't I, little puppy poo? And I guess that's the concept of how the podcast works is part of it. One, doesn't make it, Scoots, I don't know what you're talking about. It doesn't make any sense. They say check. But wouldn't you, if you were a puppy, wouldn't you want to be held and positively hushed? Also, it's my new fragrance coming out in 2040, positively hushed. It's a, name pending. I get that out to the, market testers. So the podcast is meant to take your mind off stuff, to make you feel comfortable, to earn your trust, and to give you an alternative to internal hushing. Where you could just kick back and I'll just keep the rest of you entertained while you drift off into dreamland. Now, while the podcast is best intentioned in my way of helping, it doesn't work for everybody. So give it a few tries. I hope it can help you. But we have thousands of reviews, and almost every single one says takes a few tries. So give it a few tries, because I've been there, and I really would like to help. Hush down those thoughts. I can't remember how the song goes other than hush, hush, but I'd like to help. And I appreciate you checking this podcast out, and I work very hard because I really want to help you fall asleep. So thanks again for coming by. All right, everybody, we're talking season 1, episode 5 of Doctor Who, aptly retitled Once, Twice, Thrice, 3 times the Doctor. And I'm just going to get it started here. And this is a continuation of the last episode, a 2-parter. And there it goes. It gets started recapping last week. But let's see what my notes say. Action from last episode, the Doctor turns. So it does pick up right where the last episode left off, where the Doctor and all the experts on non-Earth life are dealing with some aliens, and the Doctor manages to turn the tables on them because they had tricked everybody. And as the Doctor gets the upper hand on the aliens, the episode opens. I don't know if this question was answered. It was answered in a larger sense, but if all the aliens are wearing a necklace, I don't know if the necklace was ever explained, and if that's what connects them. Somehow they're physically connected. I know they're connected in a family sense, but none of them are happy when the Doctor gets the upper hand because they're all related. And he does this cool move. Then we see Rose and Harriet running. This is kind of like a little bit of a slapstick scene where people are running from room to room. The Doctor's running. Also, because all the aliens are interconnected, Jackie gets rescued by Mickey, who actually takes a picture on his. He doesn't have a flip phone, but he had a flip phone Aerophone, maybe a Nokia, and he snaps a picture of one of the aliens. Somebody says, "Oi, if you want." The Doctor runs out to security for 10 Downing Street. He says, "Oi, if you want some aliens, clap, come on with me." But the aliens get redressed in their their human masquerade outfits. And so then the Doctors they're like, "Hey, arrest this guy. He's messing with us." Then we see Harriet, after her and Rose are running, Harriet says, "We got to go back for the emergency protocols." And so then we see this room-to-room chase. The Doctor gets busted by the undercover aliens. Aliens undercover. We almost have their name. I don't think we have it yet, but they chase him, but he's up against the lift, which is a word for elevator. And the Doctor does a funny music move, more chases. I guess there's some funny music, according to my notes. The Doctor chases, even there's a scene where Rose and Harriet are running. The elevator doors open. The Doctor's on the elevator. He says, "Hello," and he smiles at them. And then the elevator door closes. So not a lot of dialogue in this first half here. And I did watch this episode quite a few times. A couple times, the first 1 or 2 times, honestly, I was distracted. It was non-note-taking time anyway. And I was having trouble following some of the plot. Let's see. Rose and Harriet end up running into a room. They say, "Hey, aliens, let's play some hide and seek." The Doctor gets off the elevator on the 2nd floor. Mr. Green is one of the aliens, is undercover as Mr. Green, who's the acting prime minister, I think. Let's see what this says. He does some emergency protocol splaining, just like last episode. He goes, "Do I have to understand what I'm authorized? I'm the acting prime minister, or whatever. I could do whatever I want." And because he says, "Sergeant, have you read the emergency protocols?" If that's some splaining, if I ever heard something, when someone says, "Have you read have you searched this group for that question already?" Let's see. Then he says, then the aliens are alone, dressed as humans, the general and the prime minister. And they say, "Let the hide and seeking begin." They say, "Oh boy, this is going to be fun. We have been waiting to play hide and seek with humans. So maybe they play it differently." Then they say, "Also, we got to get the final phase of our plan for Earth." Then a woman comes. She's been in the other episodes. I'm not sure what her role, her original role was. She's an undercover alien too. And she says, "Hello, my brothers." Also, the aliens, because they have gas, they like being human gives them gas. So they say, let's play hide and seek in a natural alien state, NUDE. And they say, oh, they're so fun. So the woman, the sister, I guess, and the two brothers, when they're humans, I don't know the genders of this. They're Slytherines, I think, is the rhymes with smithereens. But they play hide and seek. They're looking for Rose and Harry. And they even say, oh, geez, we can sense her sweat and Rose's adrenaline. So Harry and Rose get caught, but they say it's freeze tag. So then they run. And the doctor comes in. And he says it's a super freeze tag. Everybody run. Before they get froze, I unfroze them, double unfrozen. So then they say rehide. So they go to rehide. Rose also throws a curtain over everybody to even and then they say, let's get to the cabinet rooms and get the emergency protocols. And let's see, case is on. What does that mean? Case is on, the doctor, and move more, move. End of lesson, doors closed. I'm going to have to look that up in the dialogue. I see the doctors playing hide and seek on my replay here. Yeah, here's where Margaret is the name of the sister alien. She says, happy hide and seeking. Then the doctors catch them. Doctor says, Harry Jones, I like you. There's a lot of things. They get into the cabinet room. And the doctor says, hey, one more move and my sonic screwdriver will make this like a bottle of booze, cause a lot of trouble. And this was good. So then this is they have this, there's a couple of good, actually, Star Trek Picard level brainstorming. The doctor's a little bit more aggressive in his brainstorming, but he says to everybody, question time, who are the Slytherin? There's no R in there, but I just put it in there. Slovene. It kind of sounds like Slovene, but it's I don't know, Slithine. But Harry goes, they're aliens. And Doctor goes, yeah, I know that. And then the Slovene, they say, who are you? You're not a human? And Harry goes, who's not human? And Rose says, this is all really well done. Rose goes, he's not human. And then they go, well, and this is one of my favorite phrases that you can use here in the U.S. now. We're authorized to use this one. I got off the phone with Oxford. And this is one you could teach your children well. Can I have a bit of a hush, the doctor says. So work that into your parlance. Can I have a bit of a hush, especially if you use the S-H-U-T-U-P word, which you shouldn't, You could say... I think in Spanish, I don't know, but can I have a bit of a hush, please? And your kids will probably crack up and you say, what does that mean? You say, well, it means be quiet, but more so then the doctor says, what's our plan? And Harry goes, you have a northern accent. And Rose goes, lots of planets have a north. And the doctor just he says, come on, I'm trying to hush you down, Harriet. And the doctor goes, he's trying to outthink them and give us exposition as listeners. He goes, you have a spaceship in the North Sea transmitting a signal, and you took over the government. What are you up to? Are you trying to take over? They go, what do you think we do? Try to take over? This is the Slovene, they say. Take over this Earth? And the doctor goes, why is the Slytherin race here? And they go, Slovene race. It's not our species. It's our surname. And I thought that was good. The guy goes, Jacrossa Felfach Pasirm de Slovene at your service. And he goes, your family. And they go, yeah, it's a family business. He goes, oh, a profit. He goes, how do you make a profit on a place you don't want to be? And they go, can we get to the point here? Are you really going to sonic screwdriver that bottle of alcohol? And he goes, is that, he goes, what, they go, you're making it up. And he passes it to Harriet. He goes, Harriet, have a drink. You're going to need it. Let's see, any more. Then they goes, oh no, then she goes, pass it. He passes it back. She goes, pass it to the left first. So he has to hand it to Rose. I'm going to look that up later. And they go, let's end this hide and seek. And Rose goes, what should we do? And then the doctor goes, fascinating history, Downing Street. 2,000 years ago, this was marshland, occupied by Mr. Chicken. 1796, this was a cabinet room. And he goes, these are the 4 safest walls in all of Great Britain. He presses a button and it becomes a safe room. He goes, end of lesson. He goes, 1991. He goes, we're totally safe in here. And then the aliens go, okay, well, they're stuck in there. So they go, let's get back to work. Then we see Rose and Mickey. They're sneaking around, hiding out, trying to avoid detection. Code red checklist. The aliens welcome all their family. Captain Lieutenant James, Ewan McAllister, Deputy Secretary of Scottish Parliament, Sylvia Delane, Chairman of the North Sea Boating Club, and the family's all happy. Oh, boy. Oh, Code Red Checklist was in the background of one of those shots. Then Mickey and Mom sweating or sneaking, I guess that is. There's the sneaking. So then they have this reception with all the new arrivals. That's what the reporters were saying. Everyone's still very gassy. And I think one of the sergeants says, what's going on? And they go, it's on a need-to-know basis, dude. You don't need to know. We're going to make a public speech to Parliament or whatever, to UN or something. Then get chased. What does that mean? Oh, I think they all want to get changed, like they want to get their human clothes out. Then we see Mickey and Mom back at Mickey's place. They're planning. I think Mickey used the phrase big bog. Let me look here. Or somebody did, because I wrote it down. Or I can't. Oh, yeah, big bog. I liked that term. Mickey used it. Big bog people, he says. Mickey's making tea with milk. And he calls Jackie Jax. He goes, I can't believe I got saved by Jackie. Or maybe Jackie says, I think Jackie says, I can't believe it's embarrassing. I got saved by Mickey. And because I guess Mickey's kind of like he's like a Scoots, but probably more handsome and better shape. But, then the policeman, Bobby, who's looking for Mickey and Jackie, he catches on where they are. He says, I got to find Jackie and Mickey. Then we're back at Downing Street, and they say, is everybody here? They say, yeah, everybody but Sitfell Foch. He's looking for Jackie and Mickey, hide and seek. Then we're back with Rose, Harriet, and the doctor. And they're planning, they're scanning. The doctor's talking about some compression field. He needs a terminal. Rose is helping look too. She's already like a doctor. She's like looking for stuff. She goes, why didn't they dress up as the prime minister? They go, okay, well, they need a bigger outfit. The Slytherin are 8 feet. Oh, that's how they squeeze inside compression field, but that's what gives them the gas. Harriet doesn't want anybody joking around. She says, this is serious business. And Rose goes, you get used to this stuff when you're friends with the doctor. And she goes, well, this is a strange friendship. And the doctor goes, well, I can't shake the name Harriet Jones. Are you famous? She goes, no. He goes, huh? She goes, I'm a lifelong backbencher. And now she goes, I don't know. The protocols are redundant because they were supposed to be for all your buddies. And Rose goes, why don't we just launch something at these aliens? And Harry goes, you're quite the young lady. Rose goes, I'm serious. And Harry goes, no, all that stuff's kept with the United Nations, all the codes. And the doctor goes, wait, say that again. And Harry goes, what about the codes? He goes, all of it. She goes, well, you need to, like, she goes, like, this is probably a good thing. They say, yeah, in the UK, we don't do anything with, without a resolution from the UN. And she goes, yeah, we got to keep it out of government hands and give it to the UN, the power. I say, I love that idea for here. But And here it goes, is that important? This is like the Doctor's Picard level brainstorming that goes on. He goes, everything's important. And she goes, if only we knew what the Slytherin wanted, or the Slovene. I can't pronounce Slovene for some reason, but you know what I mean. And the Doctor goes, well, they're up to something. They're trying to make money. They're looking for some kind of asset. Here it goes, what, gold, oil, water? The Doctor goes, you're good at brainstorming. Holy mackerel. Harriet Jones. Why do I know that name? Then Rose gets a call from Mickey. She goes, this is a superphone from the Doctor. And she goes, Doctor, why don't you call for some backup? He goes, all the backup was in the room downstairs. Then we see the Doctor and Mickey's kind of relationship. Rose goes, it's Mickey. The Doctor goes, I don't want to hear from your boyfriend. And Rose kind of sticks up for him. And then, they're kind of talking about how they played hide and seek with an alien. Everybody's like, oh, we all played hide and seek. And then Rose wants to check on her mom. And then the Doctor goes, Ricky, go get on your computer. He goes, why? He goes, come on, I need you. I hate to say it, but I need your help. He goes, get online. So Mickey gets on the UNIT website, which is some secret website. He goes, password, it's Buffalo, 2 F's, 1 L. It turns out there's a password for everything there. And Jackie brings some tea for her and Mickey. She goes, what's the website? Mickey goes, it's a super secret website. Harriet's in the background pouring drinks, too. I noticed that. Mickey's really kind of good at hacking. And then the Doctor starts to brainstorm again. He goes, why'd they crash in a Big Ben? And Harriet goes, to get the experts together. And the Doctor goes, yeah, but you could have done that. You didn't have to smash in a Big Ben and put the whole planet on red alert. And Jackie's like, is my daughter brainstorming with the Doctor? And she goes, yeah, I'm trying. And Jackie goes, geez, I did to deal with, mannequins. Ever since the Doctor got into town, I've had, a lot of trouble. Rose goes, Mom, don't worry about it. She goes, oh, Doctor, I don't like this life you live. Keep my daughter out of it. Is my daughter totally going to be super okay? And the Doctor can't answer. Rose says, I'm a big girl, Mom. And Jackie goes, totally, Doctor. I want you to double pinky swear me. Rose is my baby. And then Jackie wants an answer, but then Mickey's like, we were hacked in there. And Doctor goes, okay, let's look up. He goes, they got a spaceship in the North Sea that's transmitting a signal. Let me figure out what it's saying. So he's listening in, I think via Mickey's computer. And Doctor says some kind of message on loop, and everybody's hushing Jackie. And then somebody knocks at the door, and Jackie's like, it's 3 a.m. And Mickey goes, tell him to hit the road. And then Doctor's like, this message is beaming out into space. But it ends up Bobby shows up at Jackie and Mickey's place to bust Jackie and Mickey. And the Slickeen, Jackie calls it. So maybe that's how I should pronounce it. And Mickey's like, it's totally going into it took out its human outfit. And Harriet's like, we got to stop him, Doctor. You're supposed to be expert. Think of something. He's like, I'm trying. And this is my favorite scene. He goes, Mickey goes, I'll be the hero, Jackie. Don't worry about it. And then Rose goes, come on, Doctor. And he goes, okay, if we're going to find out their weakness, we need to figure out what they're from, which planet. So judging by their face and shape, it narrows it down to 5,000 planets within traveling distance. He goes, what else do we know? Information. Rose goes, they're green. Doctor goes, okay, it narrows it down. Good sense of smell. Doctor goes, narrows it down. Smell adrenaline. Doctor goes, narrows it down. Compression technology, Harriet says. Doctor says, narrows it down. I loved it. Slipstream engine, narrows it down. And Mickey's like, we got a situation here. Rose goes, they like playing hide and seek. Doctor goes, narrows it down. And Harry says, when they pass gas, it also smells like bad breath. And Doctor goes, oh, calcium. He goes, that's it. He goes, that narrows it down. And Mickey goes, we got the Bobby in here. And the Doctor goes, calcium. They're calcium creatures. He goes, we need some hyphenate. He goes, okay. He goes, they're from one planet, Raxa Califrapplemoris or something. Because they have a surname. I think there's something that lives by a surname. And Mickey goes, great, we could write him a letter. And the doctor goes, okay, let me think. He goes, calcium, compression. He goes, vinegar. And here it says, just like Hannibal. He goes, Mickey, you got any vinegar? He goes, I don't know. And Rose goes, covered by the sink. And Jackie goes, okay, anything with vinegar. Gherkins, pickled onions, pickled eggs. That's what Mickey has in his cupboard. The doctor's like, you kiss this dude? And then when the vinegar goes on, the alien says, I don't want to play hide and seek anymore. And Rose goes, what do you mean about Hannibal? And they say, Hannibal across the Alps by dissolving boulders with vinegar, which I heard on another show, too, recently. And then everybody cheers because they say, oh, boy, we got out of that one. And then we're back with the fake prime minister who says, Sipafels Fach Pasamir, day Slovene is gone. No more playing hide and seek. It got seeked. And they say, we must have got lucky. It's the last luck on earth. Then they make a press conference, and they say, hey, UN, we got ET to deal with here. We need need you to pass a resolution, stats. And Mickey and Jackie are watching on TV, playing it on the phone for the doctor. And they say, this is, let's everybody think about this here. And the doctor goes, they're making this up. And here goes, you think the UN's going to believe them? And Rose goes, yeah, they did last time. The doctor goes, that's why the Slovene went for a spectacle. They want everybody worried, because then the UN will pass it. And then the Slovene are there to visit again. And doctor opens up the doors. He says, oh, I know your plan now. He goes, you're gonna cause trouble on Earth with everybody. And Margaret, who's still dressed as a human, she stands there. She goes, yeah, and we're going to bust out here on our spaceship. It's parked 2 minutes away. And they go, what are you going to do this for? And the doctor goes, profit. The signal is an advertisement. They're going to sell all the raw materials on Earth at a cut price. And here Margaret, the Slovene, says it's a bargain. She's a really good actress, too. And doctor goes, I give you one choice. Leave the planet or I'll stop you. And they laugh at them. They go, you? He goes, yes, me. And that's when you say, oh, boy, this doctor is heroic. Even though he should have said us, because it really is a team effort. Hyphenated surname, narrows it down. Then there's a press conference. Rose, Harriet, the doctor, listen. Rose, money, strike. They give you a choice. Okay, there's it. Then there's a news report from the bridge. I was going to look up the name of that bridge if I remember. Then we see the UN, then a U.S. news report, and Jackie's watching it and thinking. And then we go back into the main office where all the Slovene are. There's Skittles on the table, on the desk, and they're like, oh, there's the red phone the UN's going to call us on. So exciting. And they're all happy. Then the doctor has a plan, but Rose versus Hershing Usman. Doctor is amazed. Let me read this. He has a plan to take everybody out. Let's see. He has a plan. He goes, we're not going to get out of here. We're going to have to stay in the safe room. And he goes, I have this new thing that'll seek. He goes, we could play hide and seek. We have to hide, but someone has to seek the aliens. Mickey, send a hide and seek drone. And Jackie goes, no. I don't want my daughter hiding in a hiding spot that doesn't have a re-hiding spot. The doctor goes, there's no re-hiding. And she goes, it's my daughter. I want her to play hide and seek the way I want to play her. And the doctor, Rose goes, I'd rather save humanity, Mom, than be a great hide-and-seek player, so forget it. The doctor's amazed. He goes, you do that? And she goes, yeah. And Jackie goes, come on, doctor. No. My daughter, and the doctor goes, do you know what, like, this is my life, Jackie. It's not fun. It's not smart. It's standing up and making a decision because no one else will. Then Rose goes, well, why aren't you going to make the decision? And he goes, well, I could save the world but lose you, Rose. You'll lose your ability to play hide and seek at least. And then Harry goes, except it's not your decision, it's mine. Harry Jones, MP for Flydale North, the only elected representative in the room. Do it. And then the aliens are all like, yeah, we're going to win. Totes my goats. And Rose goes, well, what's the plan? And the doctor goes, we're going to hide out. And he takes out the emergency protocols. The UN's voting on the resolution. So we have some, tension here. The Slovenes are having a big party. Doctor uses Mickey's typing skills to set everything up for the drone to come find them. And it looks like Mickey's like on his A game. He's like, okay, Doc, I totally get it. And Mickey hops into action. Jackie's worried. Harriet's like, geez, how solid how well are we going to be able to hide in this safe room? And the doctor goes, I don't know. And Rose goes, well, let's get it. She goes, let's go in the cupboard, which is a code word for closet. And so they hide in the closet and they say, well, that's like, then the UN vote comes in. They say, yeah, totally. Let's, we think this, they say, let's worry or whatever. And then the Slovene are waiting for the red phone to ring. Mickey's like, okay, he goes, I think this is going to work. But then there's a drone stopper. Doctor's like, stop the drone stopper. And then they're like, wait a second. And then everybody leaves Downing Street except the Slovene and Harriet, Rose, and the doctor because they're hiding. And they're like, what the heck is going on? And then the Slovene hide and seek ends. The Slovene try to they try to hide. They didn't realize that they were getting out-seeked by the seeking drone. So then they start running, trying to hide, but they want to hide as humans to double hide. Everybody's hiding. And then the doctor, Harriet, they say, we hope we don't get found. So Harriet, the doctor, and Rose hold hands and cuddle up. And they say, Harriet goes, Hannibal. This one's for Hannibal. And then one of the Slovene is about to say bollocks. And then everybody gets found all the Slovene, and they say, okay, well, I guess we got to go back to our planet. We lost hide and seek. And the doctor and Rose and Harriet come out, and it's a big mess because the Slovene don't clean up after themselves. But Harry says, pretty good, that safe room, made in Britain. And then, one of the security people come up to Harriet. They say, everybody okay? She goes, by the way, I'm Harriet Jones, MP for Flydale North. Contact the UN. Tell them crisis is over and step down. The guy looks at her. She goes, go on, tell them the news. And she goes, this is going to be a lot of work. Why would it be Prime Minister ever play hide and seek with Slovene? And the doctor, she goes, we need a new prime minister. Doctor goes, maybe you should give it a go. She goes, I'm only a backbencher. And she goes, I better go see if I can help. And then she goes, everything's safe, everybody. Totally cool. And as she walks off, the doctor says, I knew her name. She's Harriet Jones, future prime minister during 3 terms over the Britain's golden age. And then we hear Harriet start to make a speech. She goes, ladies and gentlemen, mankind or humankind stands proud, tall, undefeated in hide and seek. She says, God bless the human race. And she smiles. Let's see here. Mickey, the world's in your hands. Jack's door frame in the cupboard. Whole family, we see the cliffs of Dover at one point. The hide and seek drone went over them. Jackie's sitting out on the balcony. Yeah, then the Slovene try to hide. Hannibal, safe roommate in Britain. Rose goes home. She hugs her mom. She gives her a big hug. The doctor's back in the TARDIS, pretty pleased with himself, I think. And Jackie doesn't like Harry Jones. She goes, who does Harry Jones think she is? She's taking all your credit. You're the one that saved the world. It's like, really? Well, Mickey kind of did. Jackie goes, you should all be given knighthoods. Rose goes, that's just, the doctor doesn't take credit. No fuss, just moves on. He's not bad if you give him a chance. And Jackie goes, well, he's pretty good in crisis. And then she goes, Rose says, what are you saying, nice things about him? And she goes, you got no choice, I guess, since you're infatuated. Rose goes, I'm not infatuated. So we still have this undercurrent of, then Jackie goes, what does he eat? I'll make a shepherd's pie for dinner. Proper sit down. Because I want to learn about all this before you head off again. For all I know, he eats grass and other stuff. Rose goes, shepherd's pie is fine. And she goes, you're going to cook? And Jackie goes, yep. And Rose says, he's finally met his match. And Jackie goes, you need to go visit your grandmother tomorrow, too. She goes, I said you were in France au pairing. And then Rose gets a call from the TARDIS. It's just on the call, right, D? She goes, you have a phone? The doctor goes, yeah, we're leaving in a couple of hours. He goes, of course I got a phone. Like you said, a couple of hours. I got to send out a dispersal and then cancel the advertisements, and then we're gone. And this I didn't like because he's kind of dismissive. Rose goes, well, my mom's making dinner. And he goes, no, thank you. I don't do those kind of things. Rose goes, it's important. He goes, I got better things to do. And she goes, it's just tea. He goes, not to me. So I don't know if there's this intimacy issue maybe with the doctor and family. And Rose goes, she's my mom. He goes, well, she isn't mine. And Rose goes, it's not fair. He goes, well, you could stay behind. I'm leaving either way. There's a sweet plasma storm and a Horsehead Nebula. And we could fly right through it. It'd be cool. But it's your choice. And he just hangs up on her. And Rose, holds the phone to her face. She's doctor knew. He tempted her. So she thinks. Then her mom comes out. She goes, what does you think about, does the doctor drink amaretto? And then Rose is in her room packing up. Rose goes, yeah, probably. And Jake goes, don't go, please, come on. And Rose just keeps packing. And then we're back at the kind of alley where the TARDIS is parked. Mom bargains. This is later. Phone to face. Rose speaking. Please don't. The kid's cleaning up the bad wolf graffiti. The doctor's like, you got all that off of there? Good work, kid, or whatever. He goes, I'll have at you or something. Hit the road. Mickey's just sitting on a post office box reading the paper and thinking. And Dr. Mickey goes, look at this. They said the whole alien thing was a hoax. They didn't want to play hide and seek. How could they do that? And doctors, you're not ready. He goes, you're happy to believe in something invisible, but when you can see it, you explain it away. And Mickey says, we're all idiots. And the doctor goes, well, not all of you, kind of barely apologizing. He goes, here's a present, Mickey. It's you get rid of all mentions of me. Mickey goes, why do you want to do that? He goes, yeah, because I want to protect Rose. And Mickey goes, well, then why are you going to take her with you? He goes, well, you could come with us. And then Mickey, where you see a little bit of character development, actually, he says, no, I can't do it. But don't tell her I said that. He goes, I can't handle it. And then Jackie's pleading with Rose with a little bit more character development. She goes, come on. She goes, I'll get a real job. I'll work weekends. I'll pass my tests. No more dating Jim. And Rose goes, I'm not leaving because of you, Mom. It's just a trip. I'll come back. I'm traveling. And Jackie goes, come on, really? I don't like this whole TARDIS travel. Rose goes, Mom, if you saw it out there, you'd never stay home. And doctor goes, you got enough stuff with you? And she goes, yeah, last time I had nothing. So she throws this giant backpack to the doctor. He goes, now you're stuck with me. Rose says that to the doctor. Rose goes, Mickey, come on. And the doctor says, no, Mickey's not allowed. You can't have him on board. So he covers for Mickey. Rose says, sorry. And they kiss. And then Mickey goes, good luck. And then Jackie's still looking for a pinky swear. She goes, what happens if Rose gets stuck on a moon somewhere? How long should I wait for her? And Rose is like, Mom, we'll be back, and we're time traveling, so I could be gone 10 seconds. No worrying. I'll see you in 10 seconds or so. And then they get into the TARDIS. Mickey kind of waves goodbye. Let's see what else I have. Jackie does not want Rose alone on some moon. They watch the TARDIS starts making the sounds, and the wind starts to blow. Sound effects. Mickey's got his hands in his pockets, and Jackie's walking. Then it disappears, and more than 10 seconds go by, and Jackie's like, "That's more than 10 seconds." And she walks away. Mickey gets back on the post box or the garbage can and goes back to reading the paper like he's going to stand watch for Rose. And the episode comes to a conclusion. Okay, so a couple of things I looked up here. First was like the cupboard. I didn't look that up, but I guess in the UK, it can stand for a closet with shelves, which may be a pantry in the US, or a closet, or it could be cupboards. So I guess I didn't really learn anything about that. Then I looked up Skittles because I just want to know how long have Skittles been around. And they're currently produced by Wrigley, a division of Mars. They have an S on them. And they came out in 74 in Britain and then 79 in North America. And in 1982, they began being produced in the U.S. The phrase "taste of rainbow" was created by an ad agency in New York, and they've been popular on other things. I guess that's it. I thought there'd be more history of Skittles, but most of the other stuff's not super interesting. So that's Skittles. And then I wanted to look up about Hannibal crossing the Alps. This is from Penn State University, Hannibal's Military Innovations. I don't see an author here, but it has some stuff about when Hannibal crossed the Alps. Like when descending the Alps, Hannibal's path was blocked by large limestone boulders. It looked like he would have to turn back. That is until he figured out how to get rid of the rocks. First they were sent out to cut trees and lean them against the boulders. Then they would heat the trees up with giant campfires. And then they would pour wine on it, and the acidic content in the sour wine, which is turned to vinegar, caused them to fissure all over. The rocks thus weakened. Hannibal's men were able to break them with hammers and picks until they could pass through with their elephants. And from there, it was only a matter of winding the rest of the way down and into Italy. The use of chemistry to pass obstacles sets Hannibal apart from most military generals, and has gone down in history as one of the great logistical inventions and military triumphs, and an example of his great genius and innovative thinking. So it's probably somebody else that thought, that's usually the case. But I just thought that was interesting. This is from Reddit, Ask Historians, this December 12th. Let's see what comes up here. When Hannibal crossed the Alps, according to Livy and Wikipedia, by Livy's account, the crossing was accomplished in the face of huge difficulties and used vinegar to break through the rock falls. And then over on labyrinthdesigners.org, it's not loading. Let's see if it comes up. Ancient Romans. Let's see who wrote this. This is by Ulia Millesima, Millecima, Lulia. But let's see. They were Pliny, naturalistic, exhaustive, but the main difficulty was a huge rock slipped with a landslide and blocked the way. And it was covered with armfuls of resinous wood, pine, and fir branches, according to this. And they were torn with axe. Then they put a big fire there and started a campfire and then overturned barrels of vinegar onto the bonfire. And it acted on the stone, and the rock was split and easily removed. So that's another interesting thing. And then I guess like the two phrases we were going to use were, can I have a hush, and narrows it down. So it narrows it down, I think, is a good way of inquiry. I like that the doctor was relying on other people, just like Picard would kind of, I forget what his phrase would use, when he'd say, anybody got any good ideas? Because this is so narrows it down, and can I have a hush? And I hope you have a little hush as you get some sleep. Good night. All right, everybody, Scoots here. It's time to talk about tonight's sponsor, Helix. And I don't know how long you've been listening to Sleep With Me, but I've probably been sleeping in my Helix for as long as you've been listening, but more than likely even longer than you've been listening. And I love my Helix because it's made for me and how I sleep, my feel preferences, my needs. I know because here's the thing, you just take a quiz at helixsleep.com/sleep. That's helixsleep.com/sleep. And you answer a few questions. You get matched with the mattress that's right for you, not the mattress that's right for me. Helix has tons of different mattress models to choose from, but I'm getting ready to move. I love my Helix so much. I'm kind of going back and forth on, should I just buy a new Helix when I move, or should I move my Helix? Should I do both? The issue probably is that my move's going to be spread out because of some other stuff I have going on. But yeah, these are a few of the things that I say, man, I need this Helix in my life. Now think about that fact. I love my mattress so much. I'm thinking about all my options. So think about the mattress you're in. Do you love it so much you would pay more than, to pay to move it, which pretty much equals the cost of buying it? Or would you say, well, I don't want to be without my Helix for 2 weeks. Even if my Helix is just on my bedroom floor, I don't want to be without it. Like, is that the relationship you have with your mattress? Like, you want it at your side? You want it there? No matter what? Because if it's not the case, it's time for you to think about getting a new bed and take that Helix quiz and see what your options are. Helix has you and your sleep needs in mind. Go to helixsleep.com/sleep for 27% off site-wide during their 4th of July sale happening now. This offer is exclusive for listeners of Sleep With Me. That's helixsleep.com/sleep for this exclusive 4th of July sale offer. 27% off site-wide. helixsleep.com/sleep. Thanks, everybody. Good night.